What's up, Galaxy? It's time for Bantha Soup. I am your host, Gil Garcia. Today in the Bantha Tank, we're taking a look at Hasbro's 2002 Geonosis Battle Arena monsters. That's right, we're looking at the Acklay, the Reek, and the Nexu. And the first order up is the Acklay, definitely my favorite of the three. This guy comes with a staggering 20 points of articulation. That's right, 20 points. I totally think the Acklay is the platypus of the Star Wars universe. It doesn't know what it wants to be, but he looks incredible. He's obviously got that crustacean look with his claws and crab-like features. But he also looks reptilian with his sharp teeth and lizard-like body. But then he's also got fur like a mammal. The Acklay is such a wicked design. So this guy is pretty deadly with the huge crab-like claws. Piercing sharp. There's multiple horns that protrude from his giant claws. And on top of that, his elbows have 3 fingered claws with sharp nails on the end. This creature is capable of attacking and protecting itself 360 degrees. His underbelly has some really great sculpting with multiple crease and distress lines all throughout his belly. His arms have that scaly reptilian look to it. His back and neck is lined with molded fur with rows of sharp horns on each side of his body. I'm a huge fan of the color scheme with the light tan highlights, and that green turquoise look really pops. It's almost got this shiny sheen to it. The Acklay was a non-sentient mix of crustacean and reptilian with amphibious traits that allowed it to inhabit the water and land of its homeworld Vendaxa. They walked on 6-handed, skin-covered claws and had grappling hands. Its mouth was filled with razor-sharp teeth and used an organ beneath its chin to sense the body electricity given off by its prey, which it would then spear with its pointed legs. The species had stretchy stomachs and 3 eyes. Acklay's ferocity and insatiable appetites made them popular creatures for arena fights on the planet Geonosis, and at least 2 were kept at the Petronaki Arena as of 22 years before the Battle of Yavin. How would you like to get hooked with this giant stinger on its butt? No way! Now this toy does have a little bit of wear and tear because this is my personal Acklay that I played the heck out of since 2002. So he is going to have a little bit of paint chips on him, but he's still in really good overall condition. Me and my brother Jono had so many epic adventures with this creature. Check out this crazy piece of info. Acklay were considered rare during the Imperial era. One Acklay was contained on a Class 4 container transport, and it was meant to be transported to the Emperor's personal zoo before being released by the pirate Hondo Anaka. Haha. Alright, let's check this bad boy out. Now back in the day, in 2002, this guy retailed for about 15 bucks. That is an amazing price for a piece like this. It's a really big creature. Now, like I said, a whopping 20 points of articulation. It has ball joints on each section of its legs that connect to its body. There's a joint on its elbow, and then those elbows have another joint that connects to the claws. Now, the 20 points of articulation is a blessing and a curse. From a play value standpoint, it's incredible. You can put this guy in so many attack poses, impale all your action figures with his razor sharp claws. You can put this thing in so many cool poses. Now, for the downside, oh my gosh, from a display point of view, it is a nightmare sometimes for me. Like I said, I played the heck out of this Acklay, and due to multiple sessions of play, his joints have really weakened up on me, and it is such a struggle to get him to stand up straight. There is a really great action feature on his left claw. There's a trigger that opens and closes so you can snap up all kind of prey. And another really cool action feature is that his mouth has a trigger mechanism that opens and closes, but it gives you a little snap sound. That's a really cool feature that was taken straight from the film. But the best action feature to me, very reminiscent of the Tauntaun, is there is a removable section right underneath his stomach that opens up, and you guessed it, there is some purple, yucky guts that you can pull right out. So Obi-Wan just made the death strike and his guts come spilling out. The guts is such a cool little Easter egg. And you know what? I am unbelievably surprised at how well these guts have been holding up. I mean, this figure was made in 2002 and it still is in one piece. It's still really squishy. It's still really pliable. It does not feel brittle. There's a really great sculpt on these guts with just the intestines that are wrapping around his stomach. I think it's a really cool Easter egg touch that goes along with this figure. The battle damage, it reminds me of like Jurassic Park kind of. Remember those old T-Rexes that had the battle damage and the piece that would come out of his body? But it's such a easy little play mechanism. The guts can fit right back into his stomach. It's got a shell plate. You just clip it right back on and you're ready for more action. The worst thing about this creature is the loose joints. I actually put a little bit of hot glue in his elbows to make him stand up, and it works. But here's a good look at how the claw feature works out. Really cool, really fun. Order up! Who ordered the hot grilled Reek? I did. Here is the big old brute, rhino-like creature, the Reek. And man, the coolest thing about this toy is the sculpt. The scales on the skin, the rivets in the horns. This thing looks really tough, really menacing, right down to the giant nose ring. This Reek looks perfect straight out of the movie. The sculptor really knocked it out of the park. And the paint scheme is perfect. It has that perfect red with the green, brown colors, a little bit of blue highlights. The scales really pop on this thing. Reeks were large, muscular quadrupeds native to the planet Ulesia and the Codian moon. They were powerful and territorial animals with a single central horn atop their head and cheek horns on each side. They lived on grass, plains, and turf and had powerful hind legs for charging. Check this out. Though naturally herbivores, a starved Reek could become a ravenous meat eater and change its skin to a deep red, while on other worlds they could also be brown, gray, and sometimes yellow. This Reek does have some pretty cool play features. Now each limb does move. There is some action features that are incorporated into the mechanics of the figure. Now his back legs are just on single joints. They can move back and forward. That's all you need on this bad boy. But for some reason, if you tickle his privates, he does give you a raging bull action feature. But I guess I would do that too if you were squeezing my force balls, you know what I mean? Just kidding. But yeah, if you squeeze the, I don't know what it is, he does give you like this charging motion, and it's a cool little feature. You can give him a squeeze, you can just rhino down some Jedis and some battle droids and just let him go buck nutty with that horn. And he also makes sounds. And you can also throw a figure on top to ride him just like little Annie. The Reek is amazing. Now, I'm already not the biggest fan of cats, and this Nexu awakens my most terrible nightmares. With those giant raptor-like claws, the rows and rows of razor-sharp teeth, the multiple eyes that look like a freaking spider cat, the big old long barbs on his back that go all the way down to his tail, a friggin' split tail that looks like an octopus, the little sucker suckies. He's fast and agile and deadly. This thing is freaking scary. He's the smallest of the bunch, but the Nexu can definitely hold its own. Now, this toy has an incredible sculpt. The eyes, the teeth, the paint scheme is unbelievable. All the applications of paint that they put on this toy really makes this thing pop. Now, the downfall is the articulation. Now, I have never, ever been a fan of action poses, and the Nexu comes in a pretty prominent action pose with one claw arm like stuck straight out. His other arms are kind of like hinged right under his body, so there's not really a lot of movement, and I really wish you got more articulation, especially in a cat, because that's what they're known for. But so now that I'm an adult, from a display standpoint, the cat is freaking awesome. He's in a great pose, the mouth being open, really cool. From a play value standpoint, the cat was not my favorite thing to play with, only because I couldn't really move him a whole lot. He just wasn't my go-to creature, you know? But who am I kidding? Me and my brother still got so much playtime out of this toy. One cool thing though, his tail is on a wire. So you can bend it, you can mold it, you can use the open, like, pronged part of his tail to grapple and hook up any figure you want. So that's a really cool thing. You can trap your prey, use his claws to dig in and just tear it apart, right? Nexu were predatory felines native to the planet of Cholgana. Nexu were agile cat-like predators with 4 red eyes and a defensive mane of sharp quills. This Nexu comes with cool 3 play features. One is his tail, one is a triggered tongue that once pressed, clamps down his sharp-like jaw right onto its prey. So yeah, the tongue on this Nexu is actually a button, and whenever you press the tongue down, his jaws close down. That's pretty cool. Check this out. The Nexu's 4 eyes gave them excellent vision, with the second pair allowing them to track its prey through body heat using infrared vision. A Nexu's light build allowed it to remain highly agile and difficult to hit, but also meant that it was easy to hurt or even killed if struck with enough force. The third play feature are the sound effects. There's a little button on its side and it'll roar. The Nexu's fierce reputation made them popular animals for gladiatorial matches, and Pago the Lesser kept the Nexu in the Petranaki Arena of Geonosis. Padme Amidala stunned this Nexu with a swift kick. It was then killed by a Reek ridden by Anakin Skywalker, which rammed it with its horn. These creatures are amazing, but they're also what nightmares are made of. Hold your covers tight and don't look under the bed. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, we would really appreciate a like on our video. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube to stay up to date on everything Bantha Soup. We do reviews, we build customs, we talk about everything Star Wars. Galaxy, thank you so much for watching. My name is Gil, and this is Bantha Soup.